Welcome. We're going to be talking about how to succeed as an entrepreneur, even if you're not good at sales. So stay to the end and get a pen and a paper, because there may be things you want to write down as we cover the 8 steps that will help make sure that your ideal clients get that you have exactly what they need. I'm Jackie Simmons. I'm the founder of Success Journey Academy and the creator of the Ultimate Sales Mastery Program. And I started on this journey, and I am on this journey with you because when I started in sales, I was in high school. And I had a great run in high school with junior achievement. Junior achievement is for city kids what 4-H is for country kids. It's where we learn about leadership. It's where we learn about business. And in junior achievement, we start companies, we sell stock, and then we use the money, we buy raw materials, create a product, sell it, and at the end of the school year, we divvy up the money and pay back our stockholders. And my company, my first year, we made a profit. My mama bought a share of stock for $1, and I was very happy to hand her back a check for $1.12. And I was off and running on my journey to understand business. Sales in junior achievement, no problem. And then I got the opportunity to start my own business at the beginning of my senior year at high school. I was young enough, my mama had to sign the contract, and of course, she funded the business to get me started. And I went door to door, and it wasn't easy. I didn't get it at first. I mean, it was easy in junior achievement. But who was I selling to? I was selling to my mama and her friends and my friends and their mamas, their parents. And sales was easy. But now here I was going door to door. And there was this gut-clenching waiting for somebody to open the door, hoping it would be the lady of the house and I'd be able to talk with her and ask her to try and buy my products. And I bombed. My business bombed. It tanked. It was ugly. Remember, my mama was my one investor. I didn't get that the people I had sold to in junior achievement knew something about me already. They had already been on the know, like, and trust journey, and I didn't realize that was a key component. Back then, I thought sales was all about the product. And while it is, it also isn't. So I made the decision. I was not good at sales. And when I got out of high school, I took the one path where I was absolutely certain I would never have to sell again. I got married. It was probably the greatest sales job I ever did, or anyone ever did. Perhaps the greatest sales job in history. Right up until we couldn't sell each other on the marriage working anymore. 3 kids and 1 divorce later, I'm facing my biggest fear. Because finding a job that was flexible enough for me to manage 3 kids under the age, 5 and under, all I could find was sales jobs. And I knew I was not good at sales. So that wasn't a good option. I did finally find one. I found a job as an appointment setter. Now that I was good at. It was fun. It was easy. I was great at it. And didn't pay very well. And there came a week where I could, at the end of the week, pay the babysitter or pay the rent. I couldn't do both. Luckily for me, that warm spring day with the sliding glass door open to the playground from the apartment I lived in, kids running in and out, my friend told me about her daycare business and that maybe that would be an option for me. So I checked it out because I needed an option. I felt like I was on a ticking time clock, and I was. It took one day. to make the phone calls. It took a few more days to get the trainings. And then it was another week to get the license. And then it was another week. And right after I got it all set up where I could have my business, and before I could get all knotted up at the thought of doing sales for my new business to fill my openings started to fill. Oh my God, I had a business where I didn't have to sell. All I had to do was walk my kids to the bus stop and tell all the other moms at the bus stop about my daycare business and the openings I had. And then I found out that daycare moms get together and share their stories and their frustrations. And we all had the same one. When we didn't have openings, we'd get lots of phone calls. And when we did have openings, we didn't get any. And the more I listened, the more frustrated I got. And I got mouthy. And you know what happens when you get frustrated and vocal in a volunteer-run organization? Yeah, I got volunteered. I got volunteered to set up a sort of clearinghouse, a referral list. And I started getting phone calls. Now, there was an interesting thing that happened. When you're the one getting the phone calls from parents looking for daycare for their children, your slots get filled first. I didn't know this was called leverage. Just like I didn't know being at the bus stop with the moms was called networking. I just knew this was working and my openings were getting filled. And when I got to having only one opening left, I raised my prices for my new clients. And then other daycare providers started asking me to help them figure out how and when to raise their prices. What was the logic behind raising it only for new clients? What was this? And I started becoming the go-to person for questions of all kinds of things. How do you handle tantrums in 2-year-olds? Or, frustrations with homeowners associations, or the often confusing instructions from first-time parents. I didn't know it was called consulting. I just knew if I could make it pay, that's what I would be doing. My business stabilized. My kids started growing up. Several years and almost 100 clients later, I overheard my daughters talking. And what I heard made my blood run cold. Some things you just don't want to overhear. See, my oldest daughter, Katie, was explaining life to her younger 2 sisters. And she was saying, oh, I'm going to get married and I'm going to have 3 kids and I'm going to have a career. And I smiled and then I got chills because she said, and it'll be easy because Mama will watch the kids. Sometimes success has unintended consequences. And I decided it was worth destabilizing my career life and moving on, because I didn't want my children to think that being a parent was easy. So I started another career path, and then another career path, and then another career path. And I traveled and journeyed through Eastern healing arts and mediation and sales. Well, it was human resources consulting. Oh, and transformative mindset and business skills facilitation. On this journey, what I realized is that in every area, everyone was having the same issue. So I started reading books and going to networking events. And I went to hundreds of networking events. I gave out thousands of business cards and I built up a ton of goodwill. And I started seeing patterns. It was like no one was teaching how to fill a program, how to sell a product, or even how to clearly talk about the change you want to bring into the world. So I read some more. The classics, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Dale Carnegie. And I started deconstructing and reverse engineering their systems. And I came up with 8 steps that make it really simple to change your sales conversations and get more clients quickly. Pardon me. The first step is you have to manage your attitude. And attitude management is key because you need an attitude that your ideal clients know that you are the right person for them. An attitude that attracts your ideal clients like magic. And it's as simple as asking yourself this question. What attitude would I have if I knew I was the right person for the job? What attitude would you have? And the companion to that, after you manage the attitude, then you have to get into action. And not just any action. It has to be effective action, and you have to get there quickly. And you get to effective action quickly by asking yourself, what action would I take if I absolutely knew I worked with the best product, service, or program in the world? What actions would you take? What attitude would you have with those 2 things in place? You know you're the right person for the job. You believe you've got the best product, service, program in the world. Those 2 are the first 2 steps. Now the third step is you have to apply the ballpark theory. The ballpark theory is a simple way of changing your conversation with anyone. You just have to decide which option you're going to take. As a ball player, you have 3 options. The first one, to accept the other person's rules without conflict. And the second one, to argue with the other person's rules and create some conflict. That's option 2. And option 3, you can get out of their ballpark. Those 3 options, and only those 3 options, are yours when you're in conversation with another person. You get to choose one. Choose wisely. And then the flip side of that is there are places where you're not the ball player, you're actually the club owner. And when you're the club owner, you get to manage other people's expectations. This is great when you're talking about sales conversations and prospecting. It's like setting the table when your guests arrive. They know where to sit. They know what to expect. Managing their expectations, letting them know what it's like to work with you, this is really key. So, you've got attitude, action, the ballpark theory, managing their expectations, and then you get into what is your one message. What is the one message you bring? You can only have one. Okay, this is a step, is getting to your one message, and your one message will have 4 aspects to it. It will be clear. It will be concise. It will be compelling. And it will be connected. It'll be connected to the problem you solve, and it will be connected to the outcome they want. When that problem's solved, what will be different in their life? Getting those 4 pieces, clear, concise, compelling, and connected, will help make sure that your message gets heard. Even if you're not talking to your ideal client, you will be so clear, concise, compelling, and connected, everyone will be able to hear you. And once you are done with that and it's connected to your problem you solve and the outcome you bring, it gets connected to the next step. The next step is the key connection that you need to move someone from being a prospect to a client. And you connect through story, not a story you make up, the story that you've lived and the story that they've lived. It's about slowing down enough to hear your story and their story and see where they connect. So now you have attitude, action, the ballpark theory, what options you're in, what expectations people could have from working with you, and you get into your one message, and you get into managing the conversation, the connections. You want to connect through the story, slow down enough to connect through the story. And then you get to pre-handle objections. Objection handling is the hard way. Let's do it the pre-handling way. It's easy. All you have to do is get inside their head. You get inside their head and answer the questions they're not asking. Will it work for me? Will it be pricey? Will it take a lot of time? Will it hurt? And will I follow through? And yes, your prospects are probably asking that last question about themselves. And so part of your job is to pre-handle that expectation, let them know about the support that they will have to actually follow through. So now you have all the way down to the end. The very last thing you need is the key to keep it all flowing. And the key is a decision. You get to make this decision, not your prospect. You get to decide, is this my ideal client? And if they're your ideal client, you get to tell them, you know, I think you're exactly who I created this program for. I want to work with you. May I tell you what that would look like? Invite them by getting their permission to invite them to work with you. So that is the key that will keep all of this going, is you get to decide, is this my ideal client? Is this someone I want to work with? You hit this level of discernment accurately, and the 80-20 rule is going to sound a little bit like 80% of my clients I love to work with, and 20% I kind of tolerate some stuff. Not the way I started out. It was flipped. So getting this one down will shift you into having more energy to handle whatever does come up with what you're still tolerating. So, if you're talented and even brilliant, and you're struggling with inconsistent income or sales stress, these 8 steps will help you get more clients sooner. And all the clients you need, if you already have them, that's the only reason not to get more information. If you already have all the clients you need, then there's no reason for you to apply to find out if one of our programs would work for you. But if that's not you yet, click the button below. Apply to see if one of our programs will help you get what you want out of your business sooner, the lifestyle that you want from your business, the time freedom, the money freedom. Check out. Apply. Apply today, because the greatest mistake, the biggest mistake an entrepreneur can make is to not make money today. And all of these steps start with mindset, and a mindset reset is faster with a mentor. So if you don't have a mentor to hold your hand and walk with you step by step while you create your own unique selling proposition, click the button below. If you are a good fit to work together, we'll spend some time, and sales will come easier for you quickly. Guaranteed. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your time and attention. And this is Jackie, founder of Success Journey Academy, author of the Amazon #1 international bestseller, Your Path from Secret to Success, saying again, the world needs what you have to offer. Don't wait. Apply to work with a mentor today. See if one of our programs is what you need next.